All right, welcome back to Hawaii Real, everybody. I'm your host, Ioke Ehu, and I want to send a shout out to our beverage host, Hawaiian Springs Water, straight from the Big Island. And straight from the Big Island today, my guest, Noella Callejo.
Nice segue.
Callejo? Callejo. But there's two L's, and I want to roll the R's. Callejo.
I will accept all of it, yes.
Okay. And Noella, you are the proud owner of Moea? Is that what
Yes, I am. I am actually the co-owner, co-founder of Moea Hawaii. Yes. Which is a modern botanical skincare and body care line inspired by island living and celebrating island traditions of well-being.
And you brought all kinds of cool stuff for me here at the show.
I did.
And before the show, she started to explain like some of the ingredients to her, what they are, and I was just like blank-faced. I didn't know what they were. Like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Where did you graduate? Where did you graduate?
Cam.
Kamehameha.
Yes, Kamehameha. But thank you so much for bringing this stuff. I like the Kono Cool, that sun spritz for after.
Yes.
So not when you're sunburnt, but just kind of cool you down after?
Both. I mean, anyone who's been in the sun, spent some time in the sun, if you've got slightly burnt, you'll find that it's refreshing. You could even try it on now, and you'll kind of feel that soothing, refreshing feeling from the ingredients in there. Nice. But yeah, I mean, you just jumped right in there. But that is something, actually, the very first day I met my husband, he's a pharmacist by trade, and so he said, I'm going to make a kava after sun product. And that
smells really good.
Do you like that? Yeah. That's driven a lot, but there's a little bit of coconut, but you can smell the mint. Right? Kono Cool. Yeah. So he was really determined to create a kava product. And it never occurred to us really until last year after we launched all of this stuff. We found that the customers are mainly being drawn to everything sprayable. So everything sprayable is our best sellers, really.
Why is that?
Not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess it's like sunblock, right? I mean, there's the cream and then the spray, and people kind of gravitate to the spray. It's like out of convenience.
Well, I can say that from a skincare perspective, in the purple box, we actually have the Peacock Perfection Essence Mist. Mm-hmm. And so in a lot of Asian, like K-beauty Asian beauty routines, essence mists, and those are all, anything in the liquid format are super popular. Okay. And because this one features Peacock and real Peacock and not just perfume, a lot of people have gravitated toward that, first of all. And then the second two sprayable products were actually body mists. And those are
these little guys.
Those little guys, yeah. One is called Puole and one is Kailua Bay.
But it's not Bay, it's Bay.
It's B-A-E, right? That young and hip.
Yes,
Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's our, that's kind of our, paying homage to the local girls of Kailua Kona, where we're from. My co-owner, Kina, and I both graduated from Kona Waina. Whoop, whoop. And so we like to incorporate where we're from and what it's like growing up in the islands and all the things that we've been raised with. And so there's that. And so those three things, the sprayables just are our most popular products. And one of our distributors actually said to us, it would be really great because you have moisturizing properties from the body mist. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about using it for after sun care? And so I went back to Rick because he's actually had worked on different formulations and iterations of kava in a gel format. And I presented the challenge of creating a kava after sun product in a sprayable format. So there we have an after sun spray. Because when you're burnt, no one wants to rub or touch themselves because your skin's irritated.
Spraying on is so much cooler.
Yeah. And it goes on easier.
Well, what made him want to specialize in kava? What's the thing there?
Yeah. So when he went to pharmacy school at University of Hawaii at Hilo, and he became familiar with the medicinal qualities and properties of kava because it's like analgesic. So if you look at kava and you put it, like, say, on your tongue, it has that numbing effect. And, a lot of people who actually drink kava know that there's that buzz effect too, right? Right. So, and what I understand from my co-founder is that Hawaiians actually used it and would chew on it too and spit it out because it actually would numb like tooth pain and so forth. Cool. So topically, it would it's known to kind of take the edge off of pain. So that pain relief factor is there. So if you're burnt and you're uncomfortable, right? So there's that. And then the second ingredient in our tri-blend is actually mamaki. Are you familiar with mamaki?
I am not. What is mamaki?
Really? Okay. So mamaki, I mean, the way that I'm most familiar with it, and I'm not the la'au lapa'au person, but I do drink it in a tea. And it's actually known to reduce inflammation, just like green tea, right? So it actually is known to reduce inflammation, promote healing because it's high in antioxidants. They've actually done comparative studies with green tea as well. So kind of similar. You can go look those studies up. I tend to geek out on those things. But so same thing, just calling attention to the fact that it is an anti-inflammatory and it has all these antioxidants. Again, adding that in there. And then the third thing is actually tiger grass. So in different cultures call it different things. The Chinese call it tiger grass because they noticed over centuries that tigers, when they're wounded, would roll around on the same patch of grass, and it's known to heal wounds. It's super popular right now in Korean beauty products because it reduces redness. So if you're burnt and so forth, then it actually helps with that. But in Hawaii, it grows, and it was called pohekula. But I don't even know if people are familiar with that term. And so we went with the tiger grass term.
Do we have patches of tiger grass? Can you just sell like that by the yard?
Well, so pohekula grows. And yeah, it grows. I don't know if they're selling it.
I don't, like my back hurts. Can I just roll around in that stuff?
You let me know how that goes. I haven't.
Hey, man, if it works with tigers.
Right. And, that's what they call it. That's the terminology. Cool. Yeah. So we just put those three things together. And there's a lot of other things in there too that are really good for your skin. Aloe, witch hazel. Yeah. So it's relieving if you have been in the sun and you've been exposed. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the origins of your company. So what does the name mean?
Moea. Yeah. So it actually means to imagine or to dream.
Okay.
Yeah. And we decided that this is kind of, Kina and I talked about it. We're going back and forth about it, but he presented this name. And there are a lot of dreams and a lot of intentions that went into this. We both have full-time work that's different than this initiative. But we do have dreams. And one of them is just really bringing the voices of island people to mainstream beauty and having that just recognized. So that's why we're talking story today. But, one of the things that I like to share with people too, and this actually was shared by a publication called Beauty Independent, is that there's a big disparity. If you look at the number of beauty brands out there, if you go into Amazon or Google, and you look at the beauty products in national distribution using the words Hawaiian or Hawaii,
right?
Count the number of brands that are actually owned and led by Pacific Islanders or by people of color. And as you know, Hawaii is the melting pot. It's the home to the highest proportion of multi-ethnic Americans. And so seeing more diversity or inclusive beauty is part of that dream. And then calling attention to all of the traditions of well-being, because we have a lot to contribute.
Has Disney reached out to you guys yet?
They should, right?
They should. Because
that's so funny that you would say Disney. Why would you say Disney?
What? Well, they're like getting into, they have been getting into like the Hawaiian side of things, right?
Like
it started out with like Lilo and Stitch, and then it moved on
to Moana.
And then what was the Netflix one? No, that wasn't Netflix.
Oh, right.
Finding Ohana.
Yes.
Was that Disney?
Was that like the Goonies?
Yes.
Yes.
Or am I just like shooting myself in the foot? That wasn't.
That may have been another production, but I see I know where you're headed with this.
But they're like, it's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I remember that movie because specifically because the boy's name in there was Ioane. And they made it a point throughout the movie to say his name correctly.
Yes.
Which I thought was hilarious because Ioane is not a Hawaiian name.
Yeah. So what is it?
It's Greek.
Really?
Yes. So the missionaries brought it to Polynesia.
But there is a Hawaiian io.
Well,
which
io
is different.
Is the hawk.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you're not that io. You're a different io.
So my full name is Ioane.
Okay.
But it got shortened in like 7th grade. People just call me Io.
Oh, God.
And it stuck. Yeah. Stuck hard. Yeah.
Well, if someone would tell us who to contact at Disney, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this podcast. Hey, hashtag Disney.
Yeah, right.
At Disney. I don't know. Because you guys, on your website, you're talking about you guys got into Target?
We did. So that was a big shocker.
Like how? Like how did that even transpire?
That is the biggest question I get all the time. It's kind of a cool story. So in 2020, as you know, we were set to launch and debut products at the Merry Monarch.
Okay.
Right. Some of the craft fairs that are there and so forth. Didn't happen, like everything else, canceled for the next couple of years. And we put a ton of money into product. And so I looked at how do we keep this going until this is done, and entered a business plan competition. Because if you enter this business plan competition for the Big Island, the winner gets $25,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and we already had a business plan, so I worked on it. The biggest thing was creating this 8-minute pitch with like slides, and so I practiced, pulled a couple of all-nighters for a few nights. That's
basically you worked your ass off, right? Let's just say it.
So I did it, presented, didn't even make it into the finalists, like the top 7, but I had it. I had everything, and about 2 weeks later, my wholesale consultant said, okay, Target Accelerator Program. This year, they are focusing on minority-owned brands.
Okay.
Right? So that was kind of the encouragement there that she gave. And she said, submit your business plans or your pitch decks by tomorrow. And I was like, well, it's a good thing that I already had it, from that business plan competition. So I just sent that off. It took me like 10 minutes. Then, of course, I knew that was like a major long shot. Got an email a couple of months later saying, we're sorry, it was a very competitive field. You didn't make it in. And I was like, yeah, big surprise. But they said in that email, the last paragraph was, but we were struck by the authenticity of your brand story. We love what you have to say about culture, about beauty. Would you like to talk to our regional buyers? And I was like, yes, yes, of course. And so that took a while to the back and forth. And I wasn't sure where that would ever lead because they had emailed and said, can you send over information? I would do it. And then they go crickets for a couple months. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, we were redoing the Aloha shop. And after the remodel, we would like to feature your brand in all of the regional stores in Hawaii. So excited there, and they featured us. So that was last year.
It's so awesome the way the story transpired from failure, but
yes,
already planned for the future success.
Yeah. And there was a learning moment in there, and I just want to share with you because you have a son that I just met, is that my 12-year-old now, he was with me and we were packing boxes kind of about a week or so after that business plan competition. And he was like, you're going to win it, Mom. You're going to win it. You're going to win it. And I didn't even make it to the finalists. And we're packing boxes, and he just drops everything. And he looks at him and he says, Mom, are you upset? Are you really sad that you didn't win? And I knew it was a teaching moment. And so I looked at him like square in the eye, and I had to like suck it up. And I was like, every experience in life is preparing us for the next great thing, the next level. And so we just have to be grateful for every experience because there's something to learn. There's something that we needed to prepare for. So I try to teach that to my kids, try to remind myself of that very same thing. And I know. And so when I had to find merchandisers to help us with, keeping the products in stock at the different locations, that was the number one thing every single person said was, how did Target know about you? How did you get into Target? Because, it's usually kind of a mammoth type of thing that you're trying to find your way through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do people ever say that, oh, you're lucky?
Yes.
How do you feel?
Grateful.
How do you honestly feel when someone tells you, oh, you got into Target? Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah. Right. That's people. I like to let them know that it's still a work in progress, right? It's still a work in progress, and you take a lot of no's. I'm in I'm in sales too, right? Full time. And so you have to remind yourself of that every single day, that very rarely are people hitting anything out of the park, right? In one call, in one sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's the long haul. And so it may look like you're catching me on this one snippet in time. And there's a lot of emotional breakdowns and times when you're on the floor thinking, I've just lost thousands of dollars, right? There's a lot of that behind the scenes. But of course, we're going to just focus on the positives all the time. That's with anyone on social media, especially nowadays, right? You're seeing this much of this story, right? So you have to really appreciate all of the things that go behind that moment.
That brings about like a really great quote that I heard. And it's kind of vulgar, but it's like, how is a successful business and a pregnant woman the same? Everybody sees the successes, but nobody sees how many times you got fucked. It's totally vulgar. I'm gonna have to bleep that out a little bit.
Yeah. True. I see where you're headed with this. Yeah.
But that's like the feeling I get when people tell me, "Oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you got that podcast. Oh, you got the mayor on. You had this on." Yeah, it's like, you're so lucky. It's like, bullshit, dude. I worked.
You worked
my ass
for it.
off,
Yeah.
dude. There's no. I mean, I've had luck here and there, but the entirety of it's not lucky. It's like, I just worked harder than you. I did more work than you did. Like you were watching the football game like throughout the entire season. I don't watch football. I hardly watch any sports. Like I hardly watch any television.
Right.
I just put my nose down and work.
Right. And well, another less interesting quote, is often people say success is the combination of preparation meeting opportunity. And you have to have all of this prep for that one tiny shot that you get. And a lot of people don't realize too, it's not like I just sent off one thing to one person and said, hey, would you take a look at my products? Like I have 80 other no's, like at least just in the past 6 months, right? So you just got to let the no's and the failures just roll, right? If you're going to take a knock at those and let them get to you, and I try not to. I mean, that's a daily practice, right? That's a daily practice, is to just don't get down. Don't get down with the nose.
Well, were you always like that in mindset, or did you have to develop that?
I did. I developed that actually from a very young age. My dad did a lot of personal development books and things. I remember, like, I grew up knowing people like the names like Zig Ziglar, things like that. And I would even borrow books at the library about personal development, about success, the secrets to success. And I remember it came up in one of the teacher conferences. They're like, she has a very interesting choice of books. Yeah, but I was never afraid to just put out, and name the big pie in the sky goal and just go for it. And kind of one of the formative experiences is at 16, I had the chance of representing Hawaii at the Miss American Teen Pageant. So I competed against 52 girls at Walt Disney World, Florida. I was the only one in the top 10 that didn't have blonde hair. Wow. Right. I'm like really short. I have really long hair. And, it's easy to go in there because, girls on the mainland, when it comes to pageantry, they're born and bred for that kind of stuff. Like they have custom gowns, they have coaches, they have trainers, they have a lot of resources that girls in Kona don't. And I wasn't intimidated by that. I really felt like I came from a place of I had something unique to offer. And then I ended up winning both the speech competition and the overall national title. And I found at 16 that that's where I discovered this passion for telling the story of where I'm from and what makes us different. And I never saw that as a disadvantage. My mom said, oh my gosh, they're going to wonder who is this minority girl running for a national pageant. And I was like, what's a minority? Because I'm not a minority here, right? I'm not a minority in Kona. But yeah, I was like, yeah, no, let me tell you. And that was the topic for the speech competition was you had to get up and do a 90-second speech of sorts about what makes your home state unique. And, you know, the last 3 lines of mine were actually in Hawaiian. That was my my best friend's grandma actually translated it for me. But basically, I said, you know, come and experience paradise, because it's not just the elements and the beaches and the water and the air, but it's the people. It's the spirit of aloha. And yeah, so I've loved that. And that experience told me that people love this. They gravitate toward Hawaii. They really do. Yeah, I mean, you've lived on the mainland, right?
Yes.
You were.
Yes. I went to school in Las Vegas 5 years.
Were people fascinated by your connection to the culture? Not really.
No. Well, I wouldn't say fascinated. I think it was just kind of a novelty kind of thing. But I don't necessarily look like, you know, the prototypical Polynesian.
Right.
Just,
oh, yeah,
just a little bit off.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm like part Scottish, part Japanese, part Puerto Rican.
See, you're the melting pot, though. You're
Total
the melting pot, right? And so
Right.
that's really, you mean, you do bring something different to the world and to contribute. And so, yeah, it was more than just, you know, wearing flowers in your hair. I mean, we have different stories, and we have different experiences to share and to bring to the beauty scene. And I feel like that's what I'm still doing, you know, through Moea. So I enjoy it.
I mean, people like in college thought that we still lived in like grass shacks and third world country type stuff. I'm like, dude, what? Seriously?
I know, right?
Where are you from, man?
Yeah, I know.
Are you from Barstow? Fuck, there ain't shit in Barstow. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, definitely. There are things that you need to correct.
Yeah.
For sure. Some myths about what living in Hawaii is like.
Well, hopefully, you know, Hawaii 5.0 and Magnum PI, you know, it's totally what Hawaii living is like.
That's exactly.
Right, for our reason. Yeah. Catching all these bad guys that are going around with machine guns. It's crazy.
I love those shows.
Unfortunately, Magnum PI, they just got canceled or didn't get renewed. Something like that. Yeah.
So I wanted to see the Vanessa Lachey. Is it NCIS?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that one, but I'm gonna marathon it one of these days.
What's your favorite show?
So
all time.
Oh, don't put me on the spot. I can't answer that.
Well, one of your top 5.
I hate to admit this, and even publicly, but last night I was making a lepo'o, and I was doing it while The Kardashians was playing on Hulu. I know. And my friends are like, they want to disown me. But I tell them, I was like, you know, I hate to admit that I'm fascinated, but my favorite Kardashian is their mom. Because their mom is really, I mean, she's smart. You have to hand it to her. She's smart. She has set every single one of her children up for success because she's turned them into a business. She really has. And we can have our opinions about that, but no,
that's good. I mean, you're in the beauty industry anyway, so why not, right?
Right, yeah. So, you mean me or them?
No, you like, why not you have that as one of your favorite shows?
All right. You know, I like to see the human side of their stories too.
You didn't say like SEAL Team 6 for your favorite TV show. It's like, no.
No, but I did. Now, with my boys, I did start watching Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even through the full first season, but yeah, I've watched about 6-ish episodes.
It's kind of okay. My sons were watching it too.
I love it.
They're like, yeah, karate's so fun. So I'm like, yeah, okay, dude.
I like it.
Go do jujitsu and then we'll talk. Like,
I like how it's connecting kind of that 80s
I
vibe
do like that
to now.
Connecting old stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of bridging the generations, I feel like.
Yep.
So I like it in that sense.
And then the kids watch the old movies and they're like, what is this? What?
Mr. Miyagi, though, like we all have this special place in our heart for Mr. Miyagi. So
yes, he was one of the best mentors of the 80s. I mean, there's Mr. Miyagi and Yoda.
Who I also love. Right?
Doc Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I don't know. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, that show is coming out soon. Yes.
Which show is this?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
So I'm a Star Wars geek.
Oh, are you?
I could dive deep down in Star Wars. Yes.
I'm not fully caught up, but I did watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Baby Yoda memes and sharks.
Is there a favorite local food that you have?
Oh, that's so hard.
What?
That is so hard for me to say what my favorite local food is.
Can narrow it down to like dinners.
Oh. I just had my manager and I like furikake chicken. We always have to have furikake chicken. So yeah, we like that. But now, because I'm from a neighbor island, every time I come here, then you have to, everyone is expecting that you return with a box of either Liliha Bakery Cocoa Puffs, malasadas from Leonard's, or the mochi donuts from Liliha.
You guys don't have Leonard's over there?
No.
In Big Island?
We do not.
My.
Like, no one will let us back home and pick us up from the airport unless we have those things.
Well, that's like here going to Maui and coming back without Krispy Kremes. That's dangerous.
Wait, did I say Chanwa Cam? Because
Chanwa Cam. Really?
Yeah, the family needs to have, like, if you show up without one of those boxes, it's a little like, wait, what? Do you even love us? So it's a bit.
Well, that's a business idea right there. Hey, can we franchise Leonard's to go have a little food truck out in the Big Island?
This? Let's make this happen.
Let's find Leonard.
Yeah.
Like, who's Leonard?
Who is Leonard?
I don't know. But I mean, it's mobile. They just drive around, just malasadas. It's nothing like spectacular, like to make. You know, I mean, spectacular.
If it was,
I love them.
See, but it's deceptively simple, because if it was that easy, people would be doing it.
But you can. Yeah.
Right? And make it just like that, people would be doing it. And they're not. Maybe
nobody's just actually tried. Because there's a lot of those ideas out there. It's like, this is such a simple and good, authentic idea. Why didn't anybody else think of this?
Right? And I'm wondering still why Kona has no zippies. Who do I need to speak to? Can you broadcast this to the right zippies people?
Yes. Zippies. Every island.
I will invest.
Now.
I will invest in a zippies, because we need a place to eat late night, like 10:30, 11 o'clock, local food. No place to pick up.
I don't know why Zippies isn't. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know what that reason is.
I'm here to. I want to break down those and challenge those beliefs, challenge their data. Because
growth, people, you have to grow.
Yeah,
staying on one island is not growing.
Yeah, so local foods, any one of those that I mentioned, any of those things in those boxes, or zippies.
Okay, so if someone were to travel from here to Kona, where would they have to go eat?
I'm going to plug Umeke's here for a second.
Okay.
Or Broke the Mouth. I mean, Guy Fieri's has his pictures in those restaurants too. So great poke at Umeke's, so fresh fish. Broke the Mouth has really awesome local food. It's kind of a mix now, but they have, Lau Lau, the furikake chicken, of course, kalbi, that kind of good stuff. So
all good stuff.
All good stuff. I mean, and then if you want to do the finer dining, then that's a whole separate conversation.
What would be one of the finer dining places?
Ulu at Four Seasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess anything at the Four Seasons got to be great.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But there aren't many, great restaurants in Kona. Did I say that? Edit that out. Edit that out. Here's a better way of saying it. We're limited. We're really limited.
And the big question is why?
We have a smaller population, and everything's.
But for like a malasada truck, that would work, right? I mean, you guys have food trucks.
We do. There's a lot of regulations around where you can park and not park, and yeah. So I don't know if it's as easy as we think it is.
But if it was a Leonard's truck, that red and white stripe, people would drive from all over to grab.
Do you think that the police would just kind of look the other way if they know it's a malasada?
I think the police would just stand in line.
Right. Okay, see?
Well, it's like Krispy Kreme. Why is Krispy Kreme only in Maui? I don't understand.
I don't understand that.
Is there a donut mafia that we don't know about that's kind of,
Yeah.
Hey,
They're trying to keep
your casino over here. You can have it over there.
They're trying to keep it exclusive. Some type of underground movement happening. Yeah.
I started watching The Godfather and The Godfather 2. People are like, you've never watched that before? I'm like, no, dude, I have a life. Watch it in like 20-minute spurts. That's all I can do.
I've only seen it in snippets. Like, I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like filmed to be watched in that long, for like all the movies at once kind of thing. It's like, wow, this is one long story. It's not one movie and then followed by another movie. It's like one stupidly long movie.
Yes.
Kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. See, my problem with movies that include violence is if I know someone's going to be killed, like I just have tension the whole time building up to that. And then I just want to cover my face when they're like shooting them. And so it's just like, this isn't relaxing for me. This is not how I want to spend my downtime. So,
Are you an empath?
What is that? Yes.
Yeah, you just connect
empathy. Okay,
emotionally and feelings to like a lot of things. Whereas people can look at it as entertainment, you're like connecting more emotionally with things.
That must be it. That must be it, because I find zero entertainment value in things that are like violent.
Horror movies to get like super scared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I just learned something new about myself.
It's a thing with people, and it's just like it's not common, but when you find it, it's
right.
It's noticeable.
So that's what it is when I sit in front of a television or a screen. I just want, I always think of a million things at once. So I just want the brain to go off and just relax and enjoy and be like, ha, ha, ha. And that's why it's like romantic comedy or the Kardashians.
Yeah.
No brain cells needed. Just no tension, no anxiety, just
easy. Fun. Mm-hmm. Just good old fashioned, easy fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some of those action movies, it's a lot of entertainment. You have to be prepared for it, kind of thing. I get it.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of thinking in that. Ugh. And they had to follow along. It's like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Just following different paths and different storylines and stuff like that.
Right. And it's so serious. See, like if it's an action movie and there's some violence with like The Rock or Will Smith.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's
Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 3, that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't get me that tense. And there's like a haha moment there. There's comedy woven in there, and that's fine. It's not too serious.
Yeah, I can't take yourself too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it is. It's just having that emotional connection and impact with everything.
Mm-hmm. You just learned something.
It's a superpower. That's a good question too. Oh. If you would have a superpower, what would it be? Or if you have superpowers, what would they be?
So random fact, I just learned with my son, we watch a lot of kid videos about octopus.
Okay.
My youngest is fascinated with the Kraken. And I found out that there's a brain for each leg of an octopus. Yes. That is so fascinating to me. And I was like, that's what I need. I need 8 arms and 8 brains to do different things. And you do this, and you do this, and you do this. And that would be great, right? Like,
You'd be a taco?
A what?
Taco.
A taco, yes. Like a what? Yes, exactly. So I was like, yeah, I could be doing 8 things at once.
Yeah.
8 brains, 8 arms. Just. I would be so productive, right? Because I think as a working mom, it's one leg can be doing the mom thing, making dinner. One person can be returning phone calls and emails. One person is creating the grocery shopping list. One is taking care of Moea stuff and all of that. One's doing the podcast.
No, just fine. It's like, you're right. Like we just don't have enough time in the day or arms in our body to do all of the things. Or brains.
We only have one.
Right. It's like you can focus on like a few things at once. It can't focus on everything that needs to get done. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird. Does your brain ever like, I know you were talking about like shutting off and just like relaxing and watching Kardashians, but prior to that, like, does it ever stop? Or is it just constantly like idea after idea? I
have a very active mind.
Yeah.
I've known that about myself for a number of years now. I have a very active mind. And everyone who works with me and knows me personally always encourage me to take up yoga.
To calm your mind?
Yes.
Have you done that?
When I sit at the beach.
Okay.
So I do, I should. Yeah. More mindfulness. Yeah. I try to, but we encourage a lot of self-care too through Moea. And I do like to take that time, even if it's 2 minutes out of my day, to get grounded and kind of address and ask myself, what is it that I need right now? Like, what is it that I need in this moment? And just acknowledge that. That's a form of self-care. And so that's as close as I'm going to get to yoga is for now, with my self-care routine. I have tried, yoga in classes, but, past 2 or 3 years, I'm not walking into any classes per se, right? Or workout or gym type class format. So I've done it on YouTube, especially at the height of COVID. I work for a laboratory. And so, I really needed to find other ways to access that type of modality.
It's like, what question do I take on after that? It's like, do you find, because I always love talking about mindset and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to get into the.
Well, how do you get grounded and what's your yoga to quiet your mind? Because you do a lot of things too, because your podcast and your job and kids and the audio, video, media stuff.
I don't think I do anything specifically.
Really?
Yeah. I hang out with my kids and play with them. And I think that's about it. Everything else after that is almost like, gotta work, gotta do something,
We're in the same boat. See, I don't appreciate when I hear on doctors or something like chiropractors, and they'll be like, why go surfing? Right. And that's like, something that feeds your soul. Right. That's what my beauty rituals are for me.
Right. Well, I know some people like they go surfing every day kind of thing. I was like, how the frick do you have time to go surfing every day? Like, you live in Hawaii, you go surf every day. It's like, no, dude, you gotta I gotta be protective.
Yeah, right.
Like sleeping in, I can't sleep in. 7:30, 8, and I'm just like, I gotta get out of bed.
I will usually get up before the alarm because the mind's already going.
I hate that.
Yeah. Well,
I wake up and look at the clock and it's like 3 minutes till the alarm goes off.
Yeah. And you're like, I could have slept for 3 more minutes. But I also like to, I live up in Kaloko in Kona. So there's Native Hawaiian Forest Reserve on all edges of our property. And so I do like to spend time walking, in the trees and picking flowers. And so I can make lei and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that because that really is non-screen, non-electronic, just quiet. It's nice.
It is. I guess going into nature and hiking and stuff like that, I do like to do that. But I look at it as like a workout because I go hiking. And I was like, I gotta go. Let's go.
Get that heart rate up. Go.
Right. Yeah. So it's not relaxing.
We are in the same boats.
Yeah, it's just not relaxing. So what were you gonna say about one of these things?
What was that?
You were pointing at one of these guys.
Was I? Oh yes.
Guava Glow.
So when I was talking about my self-care ritual and routine, there's a lot that goes into it. But one of the things that I start with, after I cleanse my face, and so if I'm taking the day off, after I cleanse my face, the very first thing that I use is as Peacock Perfection Essence Mist. Okay. And there are essence mists out there, but our goal was to actually, most people are gifted Peacock on a really special occasion. Either it's your wedding or graduation or something really like a beautiful moment, right? Like a beautiful moment. And that's what we felt like we could contribute to the beauty world, is like giving people an opportunity to reflect on a beautiful moment in their lives. And for us, it's reminding us of, that time that you danced hula with Peacock leis, or, that type of situation. So that first product is honoring that tradition. And the second one, we have Guava Glow. And that actually is a vitamin C serum. You're doing a great job. In Guava Glow, I don't know if you knew this, but guava is actually 2 to 4 times higher in vitamin C than an orange.
I saw that on your website. Right, like, really? That's cool.
It's super high in antioxidants, but that's not talked about a lot mainstream because it's not commercialized. I mean, it just grows wild and it's free. And so what I'd like to tell people is like, that's the time to remember that sometimes the greatest beauty secrets and the greatest wellness secrets are ones that are in your backyard. They're ones that are super accessible to us that maybe they haven't been capitalized on because no one's selling it. But not only is it effective, but it gives you that moment to appreciate, what is around us that is actually the well-being secret. That's a powerhouse antioxidant like vitamin C and guavas. And then the third thing, when people are ready to moisturize, you can always follow up with a moisturizer of your choice. And I don't know if you know this, but facial oils actually help. That's that last layer. It's like an occlusive. So it means that it seals in all of the goodness, all of the moisture and all of the good treatments that came just before this into your skin.
Okay. The saran wrap.
Yes, kind of like that. But it's actually called La'au Love. So let me tell you about, are you familiar? You have to be. You went to Kamehameha La'au Lapa'au.
He's putting me on the spot here.
So, what's funny is, and I wish he was here. We would totally, if you did
took
Zoom.
Spanish.
Did you?
I totally did.
It wasn't mandatory back then? No?
Hawaiian? No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if Kino was here and he's the co-founder, he's the kumuhula, so I'm not going to, try to attempt to tell the story that he would, but he actually has family connections to Native Hawaiian healing, and he's familiar with an international audience and how people perceive Hawaii, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think, and they see the entertainers and so forth, that, it's happy people who sing and dance, and just like, Maui on Moana, right? They see large Polynesian people, and they don't realize that there are actually practices of health and well-being that have been practiced for centuries, right? And when we talk about what's very popular, plant healing or plant-based medicine, those are things that were practiced in our islands for centuries. And that, it's funny, I'll even share this with local people. A lot of people don't know that either. And so this is our tribute to that practice, because a lot of holistic practitioners for La'au Lapa'au would walk into a home to address a person's sickness, and they wouldn't just say, take two and call me in the morning. They're actually asking about your mental, emotional well-being. What's the family dynamic? What else is going on in your life? And so it's a totality of elements in well-being, and that's why I like to end my self-care routine with La'au Love, because that's the moment that I get grounded. There's, no synthetics in that product. And then you just really ask yourself, what is it that I need for my well-being? Yeah, so it's a little bit of an educational tool.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the whole story and everything behind everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's, it's not that I'm definitely not the expert in these things, but if we can point people and invite people to learn more and to look a little deeper into the traditions and into the cultures that we have here, I think that that's what the global beauty industry is missing, is representation from here.
So you say you're not the expert in like all of these kinds of things. So what would you say your role is with Moea? I know you're the owner, right?
Yes.
But beyond that,
right,
like what are your roles?
I pull together the day-to-day, so Hina's more of the creative. So when it came to our packaging and where we're headed with this, the heart and the soul of a lot of it, he led most of that. And I, because I've worked in the healthcare sales industry and my husband's a pharmacist, I feel really comfortable in having conversations or communicating with our formulating lab consultants and so forth about what it is that we're trying to achieve.
Right.
And so I have a little bit of that background. I'm really comfortable with speaking about clinical benefits and mechanisms of action and efficacy and everything. So it's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but also I have a heart for beauty. And that's just been in my family history. My grandmother retired from cosmetic sales from JCPenney. My mom did glamour photography. She was a hula dancer, and she did, ever since I was little, she did makeovers with some type of, I think it was called Beauty for All Seasons back then, but it was basically makeup, like Mary Kay consultants. So I have so many, and she taught charm classes. So I have so many connecting experiences with women that I looked up to around beauty. around beauty products, right? My grandma wasn't a milk and cookies grandma. I would walk into her house and she would have fine fragrance and free gift with purchase and all of these beauty products that I could choose from. So we bonded over those types of things. So it's my love for beauty. It's the clinical and scientific aspects, pulling all of those things together. And, you don't realize that there are little things involved, like getting the box, getting that, who's going to order the labels, right? And going through the different iterations and getting a formula to get it to be where you want, that's work. So I'm pulling together the day-to-day kind of. And my co-founder actually is kind of spearheading our presence internationally. So we were approved for international distribution in Japan.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge.
In 2021, we were approved for that. And yeah, it went really well. We sold out of product the very first day it went public on the website. So yeah, and it was, and we sent over quite a bit of product, which is nice. And so, we really only had the intention to move product at in-person events. And as you know, in the pandemic, all of that has been down for a couple of years. Right. They're just starting to return to that. And so we have plans in place to ramp that back up. And, but yeah, so he's kind of expanding. We hope to have that international presence in that market, in the Japan market as well.
So your online sales are going to Japan and to the US? Or is he doing sales there?
Yeah, so he oversees all of Japan and Asia, and we have plans there moving along. It takes a lot because I don't know if you know this, but Japan has very tight regulations around everything that goes on your skin, your eyes, your lips, right? So it's quite stringent,
right.
Whereas in the US, unless it's a food or a drug, and this is a cosmetic, so it's not regulated by the FDA per se. So we don't have as many restrictions. And so everything on the website is fulfilled here.
Okay. But you do sell online though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then we fulfill it here. We pack it here. We're shipping out from Hawaii.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah. And like you, I have one product. I'm fresh. I'm 2 days in to having a product on Amazon. So
nice. Yeah. Once it gets so all your sales have been through your website, right? But once you get into Amazon, it's like a whole nother realm of validity for the customer to just look at it, pick it, put it in their cart, along with all the other crap they're buying, and buy it. Right.
Well, it's we have moved most of our product through retail, because I don't really do in-person sales.
In this day and age. You're not going to have to. Yeah.
And so hopefully we have a lot of messages that come in from people from the mainland saying, where can I get your products? Where can I get your product? Besides, they want to still, beauty is 70% still in person. So yes, you can order it through my website, but it's not like a shirt. They still want to see, feel, touch, and hold. That's just how the beauty industry is right now.
That's interesting.
And so we're still in the process of finding the right retail partners in the contiguous United States there.
So with the beauty industry, is it one of those where they have to have it, touch it, see it, try it, but then once they buy it and they like it, then they can buy repeat from online sources?
Generally. Now, what we're seeing, or from what I've read, and I do like to read the latest trends and the news in the beauty industry, but because of COVID, they weren't giving really samples. So, at department stores or any of it. So that was challenged a bit. People weren't buying in person as much, and it went online, which is what triggered the idea to list on Amazon, because now I'm just level playing field with everybody else. Well, you didn't try their product either. You can try ours, and we're online too. And so, so we do. And it's great to me when I see random places ordering online, and we're filling, orders to Idaho or Nebraska. I'm like, I definitely don't know you. This is exciting.
It's like, how did you find us?
How did you find us? How did you find us?
Maybe they took a vacation to Hawaii and were just like, well, Hawaiian stuff.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people, and that was the great thing about being in Target, is that a lot of people got it here just on a whim, probably took it back to remember us, remember the islands by it, and
or they love the smell of it, and they just want that smell.
And they just wanted then they ordered like 10 more, and I'm like, great. So.
Well, that's a good topic to get into next here. Because our five senses, taste, sight, hearing,
smell.
What was the fifth one? Sure. I don't know.
I said see, feel, touch, no, but yes, there's taste.
There's
hearing.
More.
Yeah, it's hearing, seeing, hearing, touching. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, hearing, taste, sight, sound,
smell.
There we go.
Okay.
So how has the sense of these things played a big part in it, creating it and selling it, marketing it? Because I know myself, I'm really connected to the scents. So whatever it is, if it stinks or smells great, I play hockey. My hockey gear has a certain scent. I know it's my stuff because it smells a certain way. How does that whole thing play out when you guys are looking to create something new? Or when you try to create these things?
I'm so glad. This is a huge, huge topic that it's ongoing. But in our first complete era of sales data, when we look back, when we were formulating our skincare, because there are certain standards of skincare, and a lot of synthetic fragrance is looked down on. And people are like, oh, they use synthetic fragrance. And we're like, okay, we're going to use all natural, this and that. And it's extremely, I don't know if you know how much Peacock essential oil actually costs. So
no idea.
Yeah, a tiny, tiny drop. Just believe me when I say the Peacock present in our facial mist is more expensive than everything else combined. Like it drives it. Okay. But we wanted to give people that essence of a Peacock. So, and we wanted it to be real. And what we found is that a lot of people loved that and they bought it mainly for the smell.
Right.
I'm like, well, if you want, and that's why we did the body mist and we make that here is actually that people wanted more smell. Sprays. Okay. So we created body mists that focused more on it still has skin benefits and moisturizing properties, but it actually is driven by fragrance. And then those started selling quite a bit. And so we're learning that what we thought people want versus what they actually want, people, especially in our state, like smells. The fragrance industry is actually booming. So it's actually growing, which is interesting because we spent the last 2 years, I feel like, in masks where we couldn't smell anyone else or it was decreased significantly, but it's coming back. I mean, and people love fragrance. And I think that fragrance actually transports you to memories of a place and a time, right? And we find that if we can tap into those beautiful moments, then you're bringing a beautiful moment into a beauty routine. And if we can do that, I mean, that's really great for us. We've achieved our goal. And so that's kind of where we're headed, actually. It's kind of giving away a lot here. I'm giving away a lot here that I haven't really shared publicly.
That's good. It's so true when you're talking about the scents. Like when I sprayed that
the Kona Cool.
Like it smells really good. It smells.
But you want to find the right.
It doesn't smell like sunblock. It doesn't smell like aloe. It has its own unique, cool smell.
I'm glad you think.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a hint of coconut in there. You're right, and then it's
but not too much coconut.
Not
you don't
want
to. I don't want to smell like a coconut.
You don't want to smell like coconut. You don't want to smell like suntan oil or anything like that. Yeah, but we also have that mint in there, that cocoa mint kind of combo. Yes, to kind of make it refreshing, and you also want to make it unisex. So we're always trying to go back and forth find that happy medium between what is too strong and overbearing for people and what smells like Jolly Ranchers versus, what actually smells like, this smells like ole, right? This smells like my grandma's yard when she was growing this flower, right? When she was growing. Yeah. That's what we hope people can feel, or that they're remembering, or that graduation or wedding, or that time you dance hula, like that would be great.
Yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head with these scents.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're gonna have to definitely dive into those sales numbers there with people who are buying stuff based on scent. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah, I know. What would you want to see next? I mean, it's interesting. I don't get to talk to a lot of males.
Right. So I was going to ask you, like, what is a male or a masculine scent flower type thing? Or
I'm like this close to divulging the next thing in our pipeline, but I can't.
If it's secret, okay, never mind. Scratch.
I know, scratch. But yeah, there are things that we are looking that are more gender neutral.
Oh, okay.
Gender neutral. Is that the right word? I was going to say unisex, but I don't know now.
Well, unisex, gender. I think the point is, it's there.
Thank you.
Men, women can use it. Interchangeably.
And that's where we're headed next with our next project.
I mean, I would even say Peacock, is near gender neutral.
I think it is. But then again, that's me.
Because men wear the Peacock too.
Right?
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's usually entwined with Maile. Hint.
Okay.
Hint. Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
So.
Do men smell like guava? I don't know. Honestly, I would say if you're going to make a men's cologne, make it smell like chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, or bacon, or bacon. No.
Well, I don't know.
Chocolate chip cookies. That's a good one. I mean, I would love to smell chocolate chip cookies.
Right? Wouldn't you like if your husband smelled like chocolate chip cookies? You'd be like, rawr.
That would be super marketing. I might take that idea.
But no, with like men's scents, it's mostly like teak wood, oak, woodsy types of smells. So your city man can smell like a real nature dude from coming in from the cabin, after chopping wood, I guess.
Okay. Okay. This is good feedback.
And drinking whiskey.
Yeah. This is great feedback. Yeah. You like that woodsy smell.
I don't. That's just what I see at the store.
So it must be.
Eucalyptus, I think, maybe.
No. Really?
I don't know.
I do see a lot of oak and yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of woodsy kind of stuff.
I will have to dive into that.
I am no expert by any means, so
I like your feedback though.
Okay.
I like your feedback.
I mean, I've smelled colognes growing up, and some of them to me smell like body odor. I'm just like, this stinks. Why would any dude want to smell that?
Yeah.
Smell like that? But then I have to realize, it's not for me to be smelling. It's for the women to be smelling, and I guess they like that masculine musk type of smell. It's like, ugh. It's like I got T-shirts in the laundry that smell like that. It's like, ugh. You gonna buy that? No way.
I'm gonna have to pay attention a little bit more to men's fragrance and what it is that I'm drawn to, and define that. Yeah.
But you guys are doing great with this. So what's what in 5 years? Where do you want to be?
Ooh.
If everything goes well for you.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, our big pie in the sky is that I would love to see island beauty better represented. So if you walk down, say like Ulta, right, you can see a lot more inclusivity in the beauty assortment, right? So you'll see Fenty. Do you know what that is with Rihanna? So they've brought out more skin tones and shades to address people of color than we've ever have before. And we celebrate a lot more cultures. It used to be that Korean beauty, you would have to go to some, offbeat store, or it's like underground to get a Korean beauty product. Every single beauty store now has K-beauty or a K-beauty aisle.
Okay.
Longs everywhere has it.
Good.
And so I feel like we also have Middle Eastern Huda Beauty, if you're familiar with that. So, celebrates the skin tones of girls from the Middle East and so forth. Huda's like a billionaire. Are you familiar with who this is? You're not.
No.
So take my word for it.
I was thinking about the joke. I was like, wait, Middle Eastern beauty, don't they all just have like covered?
No.
Covered? Okay.
No, Huda is actually based out of Dubai, and she's listed in Forbes as one of the billionaire beauty brand power women. But yeah, so we're seeing a lot more beauty brands representing people of color coming to the forefront in global beauty. And I think island beauty is the next category to come to the forefront. I mean, everyone knows when you say, what's the most beautiful destination in the world? 9 out of 10 people are going to say Hawaii, right? And yet when it comes to the beauty industry, where is the representation for our islands? Because we have a lot of access to a lot of things, a lot of practices and traditions, ingredients and elements that really can contribute to the beauty scene.
Right. Because in the past, it was all like clothing items for Hawaii, dresses, aloha shirts.
Yeah.
Like
and
that.
you know
But
what?
this is taking a different direction.
Yeah. And I'm excited about that. And we see a lot of local designers, present at, New York Fashion Week. Right? On the runway.
Oh, who was that? There's someone on Instagram that was really big. It was making a big thing with Hawaiian Polynesian prints.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing Manaola right now.
Nice.
So
I'm wearing HIC. Yeah.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Yeah. And so, we're seeing a lot more of that. And I think the equivalent of that to happen in the beauty industry is to have an island brand actually led by local kids, right? That's represented on a broader platform. I would love to see that.
That'd be cool.
But where our resources are right now and the demand right now is a lot for the Japanese market. And so my co-founder leads that initiative, kind of our Asia presence there. And so hopefully we'll expand this way.
When does this become full-time?
No. I don't know that it's
edit that.
Yeah, not for a long time. I don't think. I mean, maybe. I mean, if Sephora knocks on my door tomorrow and says, we'd like you to be in 1,200 stores, maybe. Right? Maybe. So
we say maybe, but like those types of things
really
are on the path that you're on now.
You're so
they may
sweet.
Be down
Thank
there.
you. So,
they may be down there.
Oh, that's so nice.
Well,
yeah. I love what I do full time. So my day job, if you will, in the healthcare sales industry, I really enjoy that. This was kind of my side hustle, pie in the sky. Like, what else is fun? Beauty, right? And it's squirrel. So I've always had two things going at once, and it used to be that I was performing and then doing something during the day, but I've always had a couple of things going at once. And it might at some point, get to be that way, but not for a while.
Yeah, because even if you get these on Amazon and you start pushing that product there, that could actually take less of your time than fulfilling orders does now.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Definitely. Yeah.
Just depends on how you guys do it, fulfill by Amazon. Just send all the product to their warehouses and have it shipped out from them.
Right. And, keeping up with all the different ways to do business.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's a learning process for sure.
It's crazy. And if people don't get on board with it now, if companies don't get on board with some of the new things that are coming out, like you're going to fall behind.
Right. So I have a question for you. So because you're an experienced Amazon seller, right? If I am a local business owner.
Yes.
And I want to get my product in Amazon, what's your advice to me? Because I've gone to support at least 6 times, like going back and forth on my little questions. So what's your advice?
Is the hiccups that you're having with Amazon directly related to like the products that you're selling? Or is it related to actually selling a product, period? You know what I mean?
All of the above. Well, at first,
like, are you going to sell these XLR cables on Amazon? Because then you just sell.
Oh, I see.
You just buy them, send them to Amazon. And
right. Well, it was because they treat topicals and things that go on your face a little differently. You have to go through rounds of application and then see if you get accepted. And then even when you're shipping a liquid product, there are things around that too. Right. And so I had to say whether or not I had a double seal. So I'm like, do I do that? Because I wanted to just pay you to do that. But it wasn't syncing up.
No, I think that's something.
And then there was like the whole polybagging thing. Yeah. Right. And I was like, wait, do I do that? And
yeah. So Amazon isn't going to do any of that stuff. I don't think. They're just going to want the product to come to them ready to be sold and shipped out.
So they're probably going to reject the box I just gave them.
Well, then they reject it and you do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
And you just do it again.
So this is part of the learning process.
It is.
Yeah, it is. You just keep doing it back and forth until it works.
And you take notes of all the things that you've gone through. Because somebody else is going to come to you in 2 years and be like, how do I do this? I have this great product. How do I get it on Amazon?
Right.
And be like, okay, well, here's what I did that didn't work. And here's what you should do to get
you're going to have to do a whole podcast series on getting onto Amazon for Hawaii businesses because it's important.
Yeah. Well, I think number one is start it. Like just make the decision that I'm going to do this and dive into it, and then start looking at all the resources out there on people that have gotten it into Amazon, other products into Amazon already, and find out how it's done.
Right.
Like watch the YouTube videos.
True.
Read the blogs.
See, and that's the thing is I watched the YouTube videos, but they had something tangible that didn't go on your, like it wasn't a topical, right? So it would be different if I was selling like a hair product or like a brush, right? If I'm selling a brush, they're not treating it the same as a liquid, and they're asking for different things.
My big advice would just be to know that the end result is going to be so worth all the trouble, all the hurdles that you've jumped to get to that point on Amazon, successfully selling on Amazon. It's going to be worth it. You know, it is definitely shown to be worth it for me and my business. Where it's just made everything easier. Even with like, I think the main thing is when customers don't like it and they want to ship it back, Amazon has made that so much easier than it used to be. So I think that's definitely a huge advantage of being on Amazon, but also the validity of selling on Amazon. There's so many people, so many customers that are already Amazon Prime members. That is such an easy thing for them to, just click on that while they're searching for all these other products.
Yes.
You know, they're maybe not necessarily looking for your product specifically, but it might pop up in their searches, you know, and that's hugely, hugely valuable, especially if you have a product with ingredients and stuff and smells and scents like these that nobody else is doing.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, do you have competition with regards to these specific types of scents?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Yes, definitely. There are. Yes, there's definitely competition. But I read somewhere that especially if you have your brand trademarked, that you definitely should get onto Amazon, even if it's just to hold your brand, the space and the right to sell your products on Amazon so that no one, you know, undersells your own product against you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess the other way to get on Amazon is to do it wholesale to Amazon retailers. Other people who are already on Amazon selling stuff. Well, then they just let you know what they need and you send it to them and they send it to Amazon.
See, how do you find those people?
But then you're
yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure they're out there.
See?
No, I mean, there's websites and stuff you go to look for.
These are the hidden secrets of Amazon.
Retailers on Amazon that want to sell more products that aren't on Amazon.
Yeah. So there are, as I hear, that there are Amazon, like say a beauty buyer or like a beauty shop that will have little brands and they'll take care of all of the listing and everything else. And I don't know who those people are. So I just did it myself.
Oh, yeah. No, you go on Amazon, you go to their shop and it's like trying to find contact information for them. And it's like reach out to them and say, hey, I have a new products coming out of Hawaii that would match all the other types of things you are currently selling, but mine's from Hawaii and has these different scents and different skin tones and stuff like that. So
nice.
It's just a matter of putting yourself out there and just like, you're already doing it. Just keep doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah. The worst thing you could do is stop.
Oh, that's so encouraging.
That's
encouraging
a t-shirt
words.
right there. The worst thing you do is stop.
That's great.
Yeah. What's your favorite quote?
I've heard you ask this question numerous times, so I was thinking about it.
It's my favorite question.
I have so many because I'm a quotable person too. So, and I like to post them to my stories and save Pinterest boards of them.
Let's pull one out of
the
ether.
You know, one that my cousin and I talk about a lot, my dad said to us growing up, and I'm saying it to my kids a lot now. I'm saying decisions determine destiny. Nice. Decisions determine destiny. And I tell that to my kids because I always say everything, we all make micro decisions to be exactly where we are right now. So if you're unhappy with where you're at in your life, you know, then we have to look back at what decisions got me here and what decisions can I make moving forward that will take me to where I want to be, right? So for me, that's more empowering to think that we have ownership, right? And that we can control where it is that we're going and that we can take ownership of where it is that we are. Rather than thinking that, well, I just got here because this happened to me and I couldn't do this because whatever reason, right? X, Y, Z. That, decisions led me to this exact place where I'm at right now.
And then you keep moving you forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. What's yours?
Oh, I have a bunch. Which one can I say on this podcast? Not the success with the pregnant woman. That wasn't the good one.
No.
I thought that was
not that
awesome.
one. Not that
one. Let's see. What did Alexander the Great say to? Or is it Caesar? To the bold go the spoils, or something like that.
What was it?
To the bold go the spoils.
To the bold.
Bold. Not the bald.
To the bold.
To the bold
go the spoils.
Something
nice.
Like that. I don't know if I'm butchering it.
So be bold.
Right.
Take courage.
Right. Like, you're not going to find success without risk. If you're doing something that doesn't involve some form of risk or level of risk, is it worth doing?
Probably not.
It's not moving you forward.
Right.
It's not growing you. It's not going to expand your life. It's not going to find you happiness down the line or anything like that. I think having that risk involved and taking that. Every successful person has failed numerous times.
Right.
So that's the way you learn. And seeing successful people, it's like you have to really realize that, hey, they went through so much just to get to where they are. And I never look at anybody, any successful person, and be like, oh, they were so lucky to get that.
Yeah, no.
I may have looked at that like long time ago when I was a much younger dude, had more hair on my head, but definitely not now. It's like I look at these people and I was like, wow, they work their ass off. Yeah, that person's more successful than I am because they work harder, smarter than I do.
You have a business that you started when did you first list your Amazon?
Actually I was selling it on on my own website for a while, for years.
Oh, okay.
During that also we were selling it through wholesale to retailers.
When did you start that?
Like 2013.
Oh, wow. So you've been doing this for a while. Okay. Yeah. And so I've only started doing the small business side hustle thing. 2019 was our formative year, right? And I was thinking right before that I was going to go back to school to get an MBA. And my husband said, we can't even afford that. And he's like, that's business in theory. He's like, if you want to build a business, go build a business.
Yes.
And, and
100%.
I feel like, yes, it's trial by fire. It's like school of hard knocks. And even just in the past 2 years, what I've learned from practical experience, I have so much more respect for small business owners than I've ever had before. And it's easy to look at anyone's brand or anyone's business and they're like, yeah, they just slapped their name on it, or that's easy to do. It's really not. It's really not.
Yep.
There's a lot involved in even the simplest looking things when it comes to business. So everything from printing labels, to the supply chain, those are things that I've really learned the hard way.
Like finding the right colors for the boxes, like even down to that, it's like, and even the gradient, I'm sure, was that like a one-day decision?
No, of course not.
Of course not, right?
But we
they're beautiful.
We outsourced and worked closely with a graphic designer and actually I would just want to say here that our packaging was inspired a lot by our experiences in Kona. So, like how Kona is known for its sunsets. So it's always a gradient. There's never just one color. It's never just, one. So it's always fading into the next color. Sometimes it's pink, fading into dark purple, fading into white, and so we just wanted everything. And we also love pareos. So that was part of our memories growing up too. And we wanted that watercolor kind of effect and Moea's dreaminess. And so we wanted these images to kind of fade in and fade out and be dreamy. So yeah, and that was not easy to achieve, and finding the right artist to help us with the packaging that could understand what it is that we're trying to put visually. that was a journey. That was a journey.
Yeah, that's always something. That's always hard, especially coming from the other side of that, because I started doing video work for people
Mm-hmm.
and just like trying to understand what they have in their brain
Mm-hmm.
versus what I can actually produce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't always play out the same way.
Right.
And sometimes they have illusions of grandeur, or sometimes they don't have enough vision.
Right. They don't know what's possible.
Right. They don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
possible. And then you start
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff for them. And they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. How
Yeah.
did you do that?
Right.
Why? Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. But I can totally see where there's you know, a divide between you have the creator, and then you have like the customer who wants the stuff created.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think your guys' packaging came out beautifully. This is really cool.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's definitely been a learning experience. And so,
I like this.
yeah, we're just, you know,
silver.
it's a continuous journey.
Yeah.
It's a continuous journey.
I think that's the main thing. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What time? That was like an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did I talk too much? I'm sorry.
No. So that's why I know we had a really great conversation. Yeah, Noella, it's been so great having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to leave with, the audience off with?
No, I think I've said more than my share. I think I said more than my share. No, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate what you're putting out into the world, and, you know, having people talk story. You know, magical things happen when people talk story, you know.
Yeah.
You know, with your podcast, and, you know, this is your passion project. And I've listened to it in my, you know, on my commute to Hilo and back through Saddle Road. And, you know, you feel a little less alone when you hear other entrepreneurs and community leaders, you know, coming on and sharing their mana'o. And I appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being a listener. And thank you so much for coming on the show and now being a guest. It's been awesome.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, Noella Callejo. Remember, stay happy, Hawaii.